Hello, Diego. It's currently Thursday, January the 15th. And you can see in British the 15th, no, the 16th of January. So Thursday, the 16th of January. And you can also see Thursday, January the 16th. Okay, so it's currently 11:20 a.m. And this is a summary of what we did last Thursday. So we are still using Collins vocabulary. In this collection, you also have the writing, the listening. I'll see if I can find the books. And so what we did the last time, we talked about the following expressions. Understanding and using English Grammar 5th edition. The United States is, okay, sometimes a proper noun that ends in S is singular. So in this instance, we have the United States is, because it's a country. We are not counting the states here. The Philippines consists of more than 7,000 islands. So again, we are considering, even if it's like full of different islands, we're going to consider this as a country. So the Philippines is composed of different islands, but it's still one nation. The United Nations, it's one entity. It's not composed, we don't care if it's composed of different countries. It's just an entity at the United Nations. Its headquarters has its headquarters in New York City. Harrods is a department store. It's a store. So it's the name of the store. So that's it. It's singular. So the news is are very important. Many people make this mistake. The news is. Okay. Mathematics, it's a subject, a discipline. Is easy for her. Physics is easy for her too. Diabetes is the disease, is an illness. 8 hours of sleep. So the most important part here is we're talking about what? The sleep. So it doesn't matter if it's just 1 hour of sleep or 20 hours of sleep, is enough. It's going to be singular. So expression of time, money, and distance usually require a singular verb. $10 is, okay, $10 is too much to pay. 5,000 miles is too far to travel. So expression of time, money, and distance. 2 and 2 is 4. It's an equation here. 2 and 2 equals 4. 2 plus 2 is, or equals 4. So we can say 2 and 2, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Personally, I say 2 plus 2 equals 4. 5 times 5 is 25. So arithmetic expressions require singular verbs all the time. Most important here, people is always plural. People are. Those people are from Canada. The police have is not has, but the police have been called. Cattle are domestic animals, and fish live underwater. Fish is, let's say 95% of the time singular. You can find sometimes fishes, you know, because you have different varieties of fish. But yeah, most of the time it's just singular. So what do they say? People, police, cattle, and fish do not end in S, but they are plural nouns in the example sentences and require plural verbs. Okay? So the word police has a final S, peoples. Only when it's used to refer to ethnic and national groups. All the peoples of the world desire peace. It's really rare, actually. And English is spoken. This is a language. Okay. Chinese is native language. The English, the guy, not the guy, but the English, the people, the nation, the English people drink tea. The Chinese people have interesting history. The poor. So this is just one singular word, but we mean all the poor in the world. So have many problems, and the rich get richer. English is a language. In English, the Chinese people. Some nouns of nationality that ends with SH, ESE, and CH can mean either language or people. English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Portuguese, French. A few adjectives can be preceded by the and used as plural noun without final s, like the poor, the rich. Okay, so we just have like here we have other examples: the young, elderly, the living, the dead, the blind, the deaf, the disabled. Okay, so the United States has, the New York Times, that's the name of the journal, is, statistics is, the statistics in that report on all predictions are incorrect. 55 minutes is the maximum length. Rabies, that's the disease, is an infectious and often fatal disease. The blind won't. French are, the French people. Well, French, no, that's a language here. French is somewhat similar to Spanish, isn't it? The French people are proud. Do the police have training in mental health issues? $30 is, 4 hours of skiing provides. Okay? So, the Scots, the Irish, the English, etc., etc. I told you to do the exercise 21. We're going to correct that together. And what else did I ask you to do? So, exercise 21. We're going to do also 22. Let me just go back to Adobe. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, actually. We're going to talk about this stuff. Next, so 21 is your responsibility. 22, we're going to do it together. No, 25. 25. The books in my office are all of the, we're going to do it together to make sure you understand everything. And so 25, those two exercises together. And tipping, to tip someone is to give money in you know, you go to a restaurant, you're going to tip the waiter or the waitress by giving extra money. Tipping is a common practice throughout the world, although the customer can, you know, can differ considerably among countries. Visitors new to a country are often unsure about how much to tip in restaurants, hotels, and airports. Technology has made the practice easier. There are apps that tell how much to tip in each country for various services. Words like differ, it's difference, okay, differ, I've heard some people saying this stuff, but it's, you know, it depends where you are, but I would say, you know, differ, okay. So, in the United States and Canada, workers in service industries, such as restaurants, airports, and taxi driving commonly receive tips. In general, customers tip more when they are happy with the service and less when they are not. The amounts generally range from 10 to 20% of the bill, and the tip is based on the pre-tax amount, not the total bill. In restaurants, 15% is average. Many restaurants now include suggested amounts at the bottom of the receipt. Some restaurants have a mandatory service charge if there is a large group, typically 6 or more people. It's important to ask about this charge because it's usually 15 to 20%. Some carry out, when you carry out and take out restaurants, you call the restaurant to ask them to prepare the food, and you're gonna, you know, you're gonna pick it up. So take out, I would like a takeout order. I would like you to deliver the food to my house. So that's a different service here. Okay. Coffee shops have tip jars that some customers use. It's not mandatory. It's just, you know, if you feel generous that day. Sky caps at airports and bell shops at hotels also expect tips. Generally, the number of bags the traveler has, you know, it's so, I mean, this is not mandatory, but it's just, if somebody is helping you, of course, you're going to tip the person, okay? Generally, the number of bags the traveler has determines, okay, the tip. The amount per bag varies, so it's good to check online before you travel. Tips for taxi driver are usually based on a percentage of the fare, and 10 to 20% is common. You know, I don't like to tip taxi drivers because they're already, you know, especially Uber. Uber is set. It's on the app. You can potentially give an extra thing, but, you know, sometimes they're expensive. And, you know, it's funny because I take that every day. And every day I see the fare being different. So, you know, it can be $40 one day, or it can be $70 for the same trip another day, depending on the traffic. And I see that the traffic is not as heavy. So sometimes I'm just like, maybe they're just messing with me. So I'm not a very good tipper. I tip in restaurants, coffee shops, no. I can be very generous or I can be very greedy. So it depends the service I have. So they are the service employees that rely on tip income, housekeeping, valet, and concierge staff at hotels, food delivery drivers, of course, you're gonna do that, hairdressers, I don't go to the hair salon, and tour guides, to name a few. Many employers base their employees pay on the belief that most customers will leave tips, and they set the pay lower for that reason. Employees see tipping as part of their wages, not as an extra. Before you visit a country, it's a good idea to research tipping practices so you can make informed decisions about tipping. Well, I come from France. So in France, we don't tip because the service is included, okay, in the bill. So we can potentially, in the law, you can potentially give 5%, up to 5%. You can also round up. If you have to pay, let's say, 58 bucks, you know, for your meal, you can round it up to 60. So that means, you know, you feel like it's a good service, everything is fine, and you feel generous and very happy. So, but, you know, the law tells you that you can potentially give 5%, up to 5%, not 15 or 20. So I do that. I round up. In France, I round up, you know, it's like, oh, just keep the change, it's fine. But in America it's different because they expect you, you know, I used to live in Oregon, and when you come from Oregon, you don't have any tax, state tax, sorry. So if you go to California with an Oregon ID, you are not supposed to pay any taxes. You can tip, but people are already pissed because you don't pay any taxes. So it's the state tax, you know, that's what I'm talking about. And, you know, it's true that tipping is considered to be like mandatory. Okay, it's a normal thing. Don't question it because people are not making enough money. So I think it's unfair. That's the role of the company to pay their employees correctly and not have to rely on the customers every time to give more money. Anyway, so what are your general thoughts on the practice of tipping? Do people in your country leave tips? If so, what kinds of services? What is the customary amount for these various services? How do you handle tipping? Is it right for employers to pay workers less because they expect their employees to earn tips? I think it's disgusting. That's my point of view. But anyway, so we're going to talk about that, make you speak and trying to be strategic with your ideas. Okay, so that's about it. I'm going to just check, resolve, problem solve. Be careful, Dole is boring, a bit stupid. I sent you all the tracks for Collins. I'm going to check the writing part and the other Collins because there are like 4 different books for that. Okay, I'll talk to you later and have a nice day. Take care.